Give a few seconds there. It's always kind of a delayed start. Hi guys, this is Neil with Facts Matter. It's been a few weeks since I've made a video, and I've really been wanting to, but I started a new job and I've been busy. So anyway, let's get to the update. Once again, for Worldometers, anyone joining for the first time, I'm basically just showing you information. It's just data, raw data that's out there for anyone to view. This is not top secret stuff. Anyone can go to worldometers.info, just type it in, and here it goes. This website's been around for years and years and years, long before coronavirus. They just have started keeping the data for coronavirus since last year, since this all began. So I look here almost every day just to see how things are going. So you can look here for yourself and compare that with the news stories that you see and see what you think. So anyway, let's get to it. Make it bigger here. So yeah, go here, and then it's always just kind of explain real quickly. It's going to default to the world info, and you can narrow it down to countries and even states. But so this bar graph shows how the data for the world, and has these dates along the bottom. It's current up to the past 24 hours. So today is June 23rd of 2021. Looks like, so yeah, that last bar there, very skinny bar, is June 22nd. So as you can see, we had a peak here back in April, and it's been diving ever since. And that was for cases, and this is for deaths. Roughly about the same thing, peaked in late April, has been going down. And you scroll down here, and of course, yeah, lots of advertising. Scroll down here, and look what's going on. I was mentioned that these things are set up just like an Excel spreadsheet. You can put it in order of whichever column you're interested in. You can make it alphabetical, by country, or total cases. That's the one it always defaults to. So USA total cases, since they've been counting, and so on. So this, the one that is more significant are new deaths. This is for a one-day total, and the new cases, one-day total. Total deaths and total cases, of course, are cumulative. So, in any case, USA for long time was always number one with the new daily deaths, and it's been many weeks since that's been the case. Brazil and India have now taken over as the highest numbers. But their numbers have been going down too. Some weeks ago, these numbers, sadly, for both these countries were 3,000, 4,000, I think even 5,000 if I remember correctly. But fortunately, that's been going down. And USA has not been number one for a long time, not just from Brazil and India, but also Argentina, Colombia, Russia. We're number 6. These numbers vary from day to day. We've been as low as number 11, number 12. And yeah, I know people are still dying. That's always sad. I always like to clarify, I'm not dismissing or trying to diminish any number of deaths, but we're just looking at data right now. So you have to remove emotion from what we're talking about. We care that people still get sick and that people still die from a disease. It's always tragic, and we're glad that the numbers are going down. But I'm just pointing out that the numbers are going down. That's why this is called Facts Matter, just basic facts. I'm just taking this data as it is. I'm accepting it at face value. To be honest, I think a lot of these numbers can be very high, especially in the U.S. because of the way that they've reported deaths. It's kind of shady. But anyway, I'm taking it as face value and just showing you this is where the numbers are. And as I said, you can look at this yourself. So anyway, USA down here at number 6. Also like to point out something which will come into play later as I keep talking. I'm trying to move quickly. I know it's better to make videos short. You can click way over here on population, puts things in order just of populations of countries. Now you notice China's data is incomplete because we can't get accurate information from them, so that's why they're looking like this. But anyway, so of course they're the number one country, highest population in the world, 1.4 billion people. India, second place, 1.3, very close. Then it's a big dive to number 3, USA, number 3 with 330 million. Indonesia in 4th place with 276 million. Pakistan, 225. Yes, and then we have Brazil with 214, and so on and so on. So anyway, these top 5 countries have always been pretty much in the top 5 just because of the population, so it only makes sense. But pay attention to these numbers later, because I'll be talking about that when I talk about this population of the states of the United States. Notice here, you got all these countries: Russia, Mexico, Japan, hundreds of millions, over 100 million people. You go down here further, you still have, you got Colombia, South Korea, Uganda, Spain, Argentina, 46 million, 45 million, so on and so on. There's a lot of countries that have less than 40 million people. Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Angola, Uzbekistan, Malaysia, Ghana, Yemen, Nepal, so on, so on. There are states in the United States with populations that high. I'll get to that in a minute. But in any case, so that's where we are with some of these countries. And of course, you can click on a country, and then let's break it down further. So here's the United States numbers. And it always defaults to now, which is not current because they close it at the end of the day, midnight Greenwich Mean Time. So you want to click on yesterday so you can get some complete information. Now here's what I wanted to point out. Put this in order of new deaths. So yesterday's one-day total of new deaths by state. So the highest number we have is 30, and yes, these numbers can change a little bit. They change basically just by a few, 27, 25, something like that. And then you have a handful of states in the teens, and you've got the rest of these states that are single-digit numbers. That's deaths, and then there's cases. Okay, so those numbers higher, talking about just people who've been recorded as being sick or having COVID. And it goes down to single digits, and you have a lot of states with 0. Okay, look at these states: 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right, so it's good. It's good news. Also, as I said, I wanted to point out. Let's put this in population order. So California, population of California, almost 40 million people. Okay, that's way more than many countries around the world. Okay, so just put that in perspective when you start thinking about where are we with the pandemic. We have a state, one geographic location with the population of countries, okay, more than well-known, highly populated countries around the world. Death total for one day, 15 people, new cases, just over 1,000. Same thing for Texas. Texas is number 2 with population of 28, almost 29 million people. All our top 5 states have populations higher than many countries around the world. Our top 10 states, even really going down to Michigan, and number 10, with just right at 10 million people, 9.98 million people. So the numbers usually follow the population. It just makes sense. So that's why California, Texas, Florida, New York, so forth are always in the top 5. So there's the death, one-day death total for these states. Put it in order of new cases. Interesting, Missouri's kind of high. That's number 3. It's kind of interesting for them to be up that high. And of course, the total. But again, to give it visual, which is always nicer to look at, kind of easier, here's the bar graph that I love showing you right now. Daily new cases. Okay, you have to see. I mean, it's difficult to even get the cursor on there to show you how low it's going. They basically need to redo this, and instead of having that first line say 100,000, that first line should say 50,000 or something, just so they can, because then the bars are getting too short here. You notice the first one, first one I can get my cursor to is March 15th. Where was it? March 15th. Just under 1,000 cases, 995. Okay, that's the first one. We are basically matching that. We are almost right at that. The cases, here we go. So March 23rd, it was 11,000. March 22nd, 9,000, 5,000. Okay, so we're right up there with the very beginning of when they started counting. 7,000, that was a few days ago, June 20th, almost 8,000. Okay, these numbers are right at the beginning. We're almost off the chart again. We're almost where it was off the chart. That's for daily cases. And again, notice the steep decline. We had our peak here in January, early January. Steep decline, kind of leveled, went up just a little bit for a few weeks, and then it's been going down, 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 down. Okay, that's daily cases. Okay, this is several months worth. All right. Do we have a pandemic? Let me just ask the question. And again, I mean, you can make your own decision. I say no. Let's see how long it takes the internet to kick me off of YouTube or Facebook for saying that. The pandemic's over. Okay, look at this. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 or 3 good days of numbers or 1 week. Okay, I'm talking months. Okay, months. This is January 8th was the peak, and we're way past 5 months from that. We're almost 6 months from that. It's been 6 months of going down, down, down. I mean, even if you just look at the past 3 months, this data is here. Let's go down and look at daily new deaths. Followed the same type of trend. Now you notice these numbers are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Okay, but again, we're almost right where we were at the beginning. We've had numbers as low. The lowest number we had was there it is, 133. That was June 20th, 133. You have to go back to March 22nd to be close to that number, 138. March 22nd of 2020. Okay, so once again, we're almost off the chart for that. And same thing. I mean, look at this. Just go back last 3 months. 3 months total of deaths. 3 months total of cases. Let me show you something. Pandemic, okay, or over here. Occurring over a wide geographic areas such as multiple countries or continents. So it doesn't have to be the world. You can call something a pandemic if it's just your country, just a particular wide geographic area, typically affecting a significant portion of the population. Now, they use the word significant, and that's subjective since it's not like it's quantitative or they didn't give a particular quantifiable is what I meant to say. Or significant is, can be some number. We can argue about it, but I think we would agree significant number has to be a significant number, okay? Just keep that in mind. The math here, I wanted to show you some math, but I forgot I can't really show you my calculator here. So we know, if you've been following the news, that the death numbers that we've had in the U.S. by the end of 2020 was 500,000. Yes, that's a lot of people, 500,000 people, okay? If you do the math on that, that's less than 1% of the population of the country, okay? Less than 1%. And that's over the course of 1 year, okay? If that number had been, we're not talking about 500,000 people in the course of a week or a month, that'd be a different story. That many people over the course of 12 months. And again, I'll repeat, not dismissing, okay, death is death, that's sad, but we're removing emotion from it. We're just talking about the question, do we still have a pandemic? That was last year. Now we've had 100,000 more die, so we're just now past 600,000, but that's since this year. Well, we're halfway through the year. We're 1 week away from being halfway through the year. And I did the math. I want to show you in the calculator. I don't have that ready right now for this screen. But I'll just tell you, and you can do it yourself. The population of the United States is 330 million, and 100,000, if you divide 100,000 people into 330 million, it is 3/100ths of 1%. 3/100ths of 1%. And that's over the course of 6 months. Same thing. If that had been 100,000 in a day or a week or a month, it'd be a different story. But no, 100,000 people over the course of 6 months. And we shouldn't have to look back 6 months. How about 3 months? If you took the numbers for the past 3 months, it'd be half of that or less. So by the definition, significant number, a significant portion of the population. And okay, I know I was saying just as if you include cases, then it's more. Okay, cases, people getting sick, yeah, sad people get sick, but deaths and cases even put together is 1% a significant portion of the population? The pandemic's over, okay? There is no pandemic anymore. We're not where we were last year. We're not even where we were, I mean, at the very beginning of this year, okay? We're way past that. It's over. And you may say, oh, well, what if it comes back? Okay, if it comes back, then it comes back. We'll talk about that then. But we're not projecting into the future. You can't talk about what is today by what might be in the future. Today is today. Today is, look at the last 3 months. Look at the numbers and do the math. Look at the totals of cases and or deaths. Put them together if you want for the past 3 months for the United States. I guess I'll specify that. I'm talking about the United States. It's over. I'm not talking about Brazil or India or somewhere else. In the United States, the pandemic is over. I didn't say COVID is gone or COVID is, it's disappeared. I know it's still here. I know it may still be here forever, but so is the flu and everything else. The numbers to support calling this a pandemic are not there. They haven't been there for the past at least 3 months, however you want to look at it. The numbers aren't there. The pandemic is over. Get back to your normal life. Look at this chart. Look at Worldometers all the time just to verify, just to put that up against what the news is telling you. So, things are getting better. Things are getting good. Go back to normal. Enjoy your life. Take your mask off. Smile. Meet some people. Have a good time. Okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.